The moon has always been more than just a celestial object. It's been a constant in the sky, a fixture in the night, its pale light casting long shadows across Earth's landscapes, unchanging yet always there. To many ancient cultures, it was the keeper of time, the keeper of secrets. The rhythms of the moon's phases echoed the cycles of life itself: birth, growth, decay, and renewal. In the darkest corners of human history, the moon has been a symbol of hope, a symbol of something greater, a reminder that even in the vast emptiness of the night sky, there's something to reach for, something to aspire to. It has beckoned us for millennia. But the dream of reaching the moon wasn't always one of conquest or colonization. It was, at its heart, an expression of human curiosity, of our unyielding desire to understand the universe that envelopes us. The moon represented an unimaginable frontier, distant yet tantalizingly close. It whispered to our ancestors, calling them to explore, to transcend the limitations of their world. Yet for all the wonder and awe the moon inspired, it wasn't until the 20th century that we found the courage and the technology to venture beyond Earth's surface. The space race of the 1960s, driven by geopolitical competition and the desire for human achievement, led to the moment that would forever change our relationship with the moon. When Apollo 11 touched down in 1969, it wasn't just an American victory. It was a triumph for humanity. For a brief moment, the impossible became possible. Yet the moon, after that initial leap, seemed to slip from our grasp once again. Space exploration, driven by national pride and technological ambition, gave way to other priorities. The moon, that distant neighbor, once again became a silent witness to human progress. But in the decades that followed, something began to shift. As we turned our eyes toward distant planets like Mars, the moon, once seen as a brief stopover, is now seen as an essential stepping stone for the future. It's not just a place to visit, it's a place to stay. And this time, we aren't just sending astronauts for a few days. We're sending humanity to live, to build, and to thrive on the lunar surface. The next lunar frontier isn't about flags and footprints, it's about home. The technical challenges are immense, but not insurmountable. With the rapid advances in rocket technology, like reusable spacecraft from SpaceX, and cutting-edge innovations in sustainable energy and life support systems, we now have the means to not just visit, but stay. Lunar habitats will be constructed using advanced materials, with designs that protect against radiation, meteorite impacts, and the temperature extremes that make the moon so inhospitable. We'll use solar energy harvested from the constant light at the poles to power our settlements. We'll mine the moon's regolith for resources, build habitats out of lunar rock, and extract water from frozen ice trapped in shadowed craters. But the story of lunar settlement is not just one of engineering and technology. It's about the very human experience of living on another world. The moon's isolation will challenge us in ways we've never known before. For the first time in history, humanity will be separated from its cradle, the Earth. And while the Earth is our home, the moon will be our new beginning. There will be no natural earthly sounds, no birds chirping, no wind rustling through trees. The silence on the moon will be profound, eerie. Without an atmosphere to carry sound, communication will only occur through the sterile hum of radio signals. And as the settlers look back at Earth, they will see it as a tiny, distant speck, a reminder of everything they've left behind, but also a symbol of all they are building. The emotional weight of that moment will be unlike anything we've ever known. For the first settlers, the moon will be both home and exile. a place of endless possibility, but also a place of solitude. There will be no easy escape. The psychology of lunar settlement will be as challenging as the physical environment. Living on the moon will require a profound shift in how we think about ourselves, how we interact with each other, and how we sustain our communities. Isolation, confinement, and the psychological strain of living on a barren world will push the limits of human resilience. But within that challenge, there is opportunity. Lunar life will foster a new sense of community, one that is global, interconnected, and interdependent. To survive on the moon, settlers will need to collaborate in ways that transcend national boundaries, race, and culture. The isolation of the moon will demand cooperation, not competition. It will challenge us to rethink our values, our purpose, and our relationship with one another. What does it mean to be human when we're no longer tied to the earth? When we're living on a world that is completely foreign, where every breath of air and drop of water has to be earned? It will also ask us to confront the question of our own existence. Why do we reach for the stars? Why venture into space at all? For some, the answer is simple: the desire to survive, to ensure that humanity endures beyond the earth. But for others, it will be more than that. It will be about understanding our place in the cosmos, about finding meaning in the vastness of space, and about discovering what makes us human in the process. The moon, a seemingly barren rock, could become the crucible in which humanity is transformed. It will force us to answer questions not just about survival, but about identity. What does it mean to be human when you are no longer rooted to Earth? What will the first lunar-born child look like? Will they call the moon home, or will they dream of Earth as their ancestral home? The moon will challenge us to expand our understanding of culture, community, and the very concept of belonging. Imagine what it will be like for a child born on the moon. Will they understand the Earth as their ancestral home? Will they see Earth as a far-off land, like the moon was once to us? The identity of future lunar-born generations will be a fascinating new chapter in the human story. As the moon becomes home to future generations, the ideas of national borders, of home, of Earth will evolve. Humanity will become a species not defined by geography, but by shared knowledge, ambition, and survival. And what of our earthly future? The impact of living on the moon will not be confined to those who venture to it. The moon will change the way we think about our planet. It will give us perspective, showing us the fragility of Earth in the vast expanse of the universe. The same Earth that sustains us will seem more precious, more fragile when viewed from the moon's surface. And perhaps, from this new vantage point, we will learn to cherish and protect our home in ways we never thought possible. The moon is our past and our future. It is both the place where we began our journey and the place where humanity will embark on the next phase of its existence, beyond the confines of Earth, into the unknown. It is a reminder that the quest for knowledge, the drive to explore, and the dream of becoming something greater than ourselves are all a part of the human spirit. The moon will be our first step into a future where the stars are no longer out of reach, but within our grasp. The question is no longer whether we will settle the moon, but how soon we can build a future there. A future where humanity lives, works, and thrives beyond Earth. A future where the stars are no longer distant dreams, but the next step in our shared journey.